Hello, hello, hello. Lydia here. Thank you so much for joining me live on this week's live stream. I am super excited to talk about today's topic because it's something that I keep banging the drum of, and I will keep banging the drum of until people understand it and really utilize it to start receiving success with their work and their business. So today we're going to be talking about how to stop trying to look good in your business and instead focus on being good in the work that you do to actually attract the customers and attract the people that are looking for your help and your expertise. So if you're joining me live right now in my Unconventionalist Facebook group, please comment below and tell me you're here and that I'm not just talking to myself, which sometimes happens in the beginning of time. And let me know about what you struggle with when it comes to your day-to-day efforts around knowing what to do for your business. Do you think that you're kind of overwhelmed in doing all the things, and when you do all the things, you're actually not receiving some of that result that you're looking for, whether it's about validating an idea or whether it's about getting your first client or making more money. Hi, Sunny. Nice to see you here. Sunny stayed up again for me. Thank you, Sunny. You're always amazing at showing up and being like midnight and 1 a.m. over in London. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to turn up the volume here. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Let me just make sure that my headphones are right. Okay. So if you guys are here, like I said, introduce yourself. Tell me what you struggle with when it comes to your day-to-day marketing or creation of your business. And what are you spending time doing? I want to know what you're doing because I can probably bet that half of the things that you're doing aren't really leading you to the results that you want. So that's what I want to talk about today. What are the right efforts, the right focuses of activities you should be focusing on when you are launching a business or starting to develop ideas for your business, which is where most of you guys are at. Hi, Marilyn. Marilyn's from Singapore, and she's joining me. So she's in the same time zone. She's not woken up too early today. I've got my cup of coffee. I haven't had breakfast yet, but I wanted to omelette that I usually get in the mornings. Okay, so we are trying to launch a business. We are overwhelmed with information on the internet. We're looking at other people's businesses. We're looking at what other people are doing in groups, and we try to conform ourselves to all those modalities people are using. So, you're probably at this moment in time really caught up in learning things, right? So you might be seeing a course out there about Pinterest, or you might be, learning about Facebook ads, or you might be learning all about, all the technical bits of a digital business, for example, instead of focusing on what matters. And the reason for that is because you see the end results of people's businesses, right? The websites, the social media accounts, all those different platforms, right, that you're in watching other people's businesses, and you feel like that's the thing you should be doing. But a lot of the times what gets you stuck is that even if you knew how to do Pinterest, or even if you knew how to do email marketing or funnels or whatever is those sexy things that we get to focus on in the marketing bits of business, what's going to trump you is when you don't know how to market yourself, or you don't know what it is that you do in your business to solve problems that is of value to other people. So you're finding it really hard to talk about your work. And I had a live stream about that last week about how to talk about your work. So you might want to scroll back down on this Facebook group to look at that live stream again about really finding the value of the work that you do. So Sunny, you mentioned you're very saturated. You need to pick what I need to know now is what you need to do, right? For sure. Sunny and I had a conversation last week when we had a discovery call about not focusing on things that don't matter for the right for right now phase. Okay, your right for right now phase is supposed to solve the most immediate problem for your business, and usually it is around finding clients. Usually it's around packaging yourself. Usually it's around knowing what to offer, right? That is going to bring you income to your business. So when I look at, foundation work, right, what you should be focusing on in the beginning of time, usually it's around you, right? It's around how you become a credible expert and a trusted source for the industry or for the type of problem that your business solves. That's the piece that you have to get real good with before you go into the shiny stuff like the marketing and the social media stuff and all the Pinterest and whatever else that you're seeing out there that you think you have to learn right now. What you have to learn most right now is about your own value and what problems you solve in your business and how you're going to solve it and who are these people. And to connect with these people to start before you even figure out what to sell them. So I've used this analogy before. I talked about building a house, right? So when you're building a business, it's kind of like building a house. When you build a house, you're not going to first of all bring in the interior designer, right? The guy or the girl that makes it all pretty, because you don't even know what the house looks like just yet, right? A house requires someone like a land surveyor to come in and make sure the foundation of your land is solid. Make sure you're not going to get toppled down the hill when a hurricane comes in or a windy day happens. And then you build the frame of the house, right? Where the door is going to be, how many rooms, what that all looks like in the sense of this, foundation and frame of your house. So your business is also built like that. You don't go straight into the interior design, which is the marketing, the logos, the website, the colors, all that kind of cool, sexy stuff you see first in other people's businesses. You've got to work on your foundations, and you have to work on what you offer that is going to be valuable for customers to want to buy what you got to sell. Okay. And so when I first started in business, I fell into this exact same predicament, which is trying to do all the things, trying to copy other people, trying to be other people before really checking in with myself of like, what is my unique perspective? What is the value that I deliver that is going to be this different combination of my talents, my interests, my personality, the way that I would approach the problem that will be different from other people that are kind of like my own business. So that's the place you want to start. But instead, I was focusing on like hiring a web designer for like $4,000 for my first website, and focusing on the color palettes and the fonts and how pretty things are going to look, instead of doing the real work, which is really understanding my customer, understanding who I help, how I can help them, and the real value that people are going to pay for when it comes to my work. So I did all my website stuff first. I got all my logo stuff done. And then that was the thing that I took to try to market myself, which obviously didn't work because people don't buy your logos and they don't buy your website or colors or how great that looks. They buy that you can help them with something that they're struggling with, right? That is the piece that they're going to be looking for. So whatever activities you're doing right now in order to promote yourself, make sure that it is about delivering value. It is about solving problems, and you're giving them that value even before they pay you. That's going to be one of the biggest piece of all your activities of how you can get out there. I'll talk a little bit more about that. So when I was so concerned about looking good, I was really wasting my energy and spending time, not spending time on being good. And what does being good mean? Being good is about starting out to know what you know and testing out your knowledge, testing out your skill sets with real humans, right? That's the only way to be an expert. Expertise comes from doing. It comes from experience. It comes from you hitting the ground running. And what my coach, Todd Herman, says, going out in the field of play, getting out there in the real world and really helping real people with the problems that you perceive you need to solve, right? And that might come in the form of talking to people to start, gathering a survey of test clients that you can absolutely be asking specific questions about how you can help them, and then thinking about your packages and your offers in order to deliver that sort of value, right? But because all of you guys who are starting out are waiting for this perfect time to be perfect. I can't show myself. I can't answer a question on a Facebook group. I can't help people until I have great photography and all these amazing websites out there. And you're kind of doing a disservice for yourself to really be out there to do the work that you're called to do and really be seeing the results that your services can provide or your products can provide a specific type of customer. Okay, and this part wastes so much time for you to keep waiting on branding or waiting on websites to get this started, that you're not focused on the most powerful piece, which is helping people. So most of you guys are in this sort of service-based business, right? Human to human. You're a consultant, you're a coach, you're an advisor, you're a nutritionist. Whatever it is that you do, you're helping other humans. So the big clue there is humans. So you must be out there to create more of those human interactions, okay? So the activities, as I said, you should be focusing on is about helping, right? How can you help without being stuck on, I don't have my website done yet, or I don't have my logo designed, okay? Most of the clients that I've ever took on to help them launch their businesses, they will help clients before their website is up and running. And there's a reason for that, because I want them to be able to feel that feeling of transforming a client, right? Of doing all the necessary activities with that client to solve their problems in order to then know how to design their site, how to call to this type of audience that needs them the most. But until you work with real people and put yourself out there, whether you're speaking to people, whether you're networking, whether you're creating free courses or blogging, whatever content you're putting out there, that is a testing ground of seeing how many people engage with that content, seeing if you took on a test client, how that worked for you. Hi, Amanda, nice to see you. And be able to really justify your value, right? So when you allows you to see the kinks, see the okay. So the activities to focus on for your business right now, even if you're in the beginner stage of like, what idea should I have? Or I have a few ideas, but I'm not sure which ones will work. Or maybe you're in a little bit more, the step after that, which is about, your idea, you have a general idea of how you're going to make money, but it's about finding clients, right? Whichever stage you're in, this applies to all stages of your business. So talking to prospects is definitely an activity that's going to build your expertise and build your awareness around the customers that you want to help. Building relationships, whether it's been done through groups you're in, so unconventionalists, you're in here. In this group, there's over 1,500 people in this group that may want what you're selling, but are you engaging with them? Are you giving value every single week? And you see me do this every week, right? I come on this group, I come on live streams, and I really help and genuinely help in order to build, again, that awareness to people that this is what I do, here's what I help with, and I'm going to give you some nuggets of wisdom even before you pay me any money, which is super important for building trust. Okay, you should be spending time on making offers. So if you're in that stage of your business where you've got an offer, you've got something packaged, and now you're finding clients, you need to stop focusing on Facebook ads and stop focusing on all these automated parts of business. Go out there and actually truly go in these groups and go jump on the phone. Let's get on the call together, and I'm going to super help you out in the next half an hour for free, because that's a way to be able to convert that client from an interested person to a paying client. Okay, and most of all, in all those activities I just mentioned, is delivering value. Whatever you do, that should be the theme of all you do, is delivering value. And one of the things that I would love for you to read if you're a coach or someone that's in the human-to-human business, one of the books that changed my life as a coach is a book by Rich Litvin called The Prosperous Coach. I recommend this book to every person that does a human-based business, okay? The reason for that is because it teaches you the fundamentals of what it matters to bring in income for your coaching business. But what it also breaks down is that you don't need all this sort of funnels or automated stuff to start. It's really the real interactions. So Rich mentions, regardless of what business you're in, whether you're a coach or a lawyer or some sort of consultant, your focus is to help clients. And if you help clients, you will be successful. And there's a really powerful quote that he has that I always remember, and I have it on my wall, is the saying, how can I serve so powerfully that my clients never forget a conversation for the rest of their lives? How powerful can your conversations be? This comes out in your discovery calls, if you're a coach or a consultant that does it in that process or intake. It also comes in every interaction you might make in your life, when you meet someone in a coffee shop, when you talk to people about your work. You give really ahead of time before you even ask to get on a discovery call. Is really, truly giving your all. And I had a really hard time with this when I first started my coaching business, because so many experts out there sometimes will say, don't give everything, because then they'll get it all and then they won't need you, right? Some experts might say that. Some people are about dangling that carrot, right? These sort of teaser emails, kind of giving you a little bit of the solution, but not all of it, and kind of teasing you into wanting to buy your course or buying your product. And some of that does work to an extent, but in my opinion, after I read The Prosperous Coach and after I applied what that means to me in my business, which is how I'm going to give and really focus on that, I really found my conversions for customers much higher. So what that means is that, for example, what I used to do 2 years ago or 3 years ago when I started my coaching business is that I would use the discovery call as a way of knowing about them, but I would not really give my all. I would talk to them about, oh, it looks like you're having this problem. Okay, yeah, I can help with that. But I never really helped them really solve the problem or one piece of the part of the problem. And I was always holding back. You can really sense when you're kind of holding back from really giving your wisdom. And this is the part for me to challenge you in a loving way to give it. Just really give the thing that you know will really help this person move forward whenever you're in this sort of interaction. And when you do that, whether it takes half an hour or an hour, what happens with that is it gives this sense of trust that people have with you when they have this interaction, because they're going to go, wow, this is the free call, or this is the sort of kind of free casual interaction I'm having. And this person is already so credible and knowledgeable that I'm already receiving some value from this. I know what to do next. But know that your customer still needs you after that one next step, because there's a whole whack of stuff that you can absolutely be helping them on. And that's what they hire you for. But give them a win. Give them a taste of what is to be experienced with you in a paid program or a paid service by truly giving your all in that interaction. Right? And when I've done that in the past and going forward as well with all my discovery calls, really treating it like a paid client, treating it like a paid customer that this hour is paid for, it will bring out this other part of me, which is truly immersed in helping. And when I help, that creates the value. And when my customers receive that value, why wouldn't they want to get more of it? Why wouldn't they feel that every week of these types of powerful conversations would absolutely change the way that I reach my success, right? In whatever that you help them with. So Amanda, I just want to come back to your thing here. Yeah, you got a great win this week. You got one of your clients got hired by the Royal Caribbean, because as you do placements for cruise ships work, and you're on cloud nine. Of course you are. Congratulations on having your client placed. And discovery calls are thebomb.com. I can so relate to that, because again, you're dealing with humans. They want to hear you. They want to talk to you. They want to know about you. And so this piece would have made the difference between your customer going to find placement on their own and not having that intimacy, or getting someone like you who they feel can be their ally to really get them the solutions that are much faster and much more effectively. And so Amanda, some of your followers have already gotten jobs on board from just your free YouTube channel. Amazing. And so yes, they've gotten somewhere without you, but now you have a raving fan. Right? Now you have a lifelong fan that may have never bought anything from you before, but will absolutely buy something in the future. They may share your work. They may recommend your work in all these channels to other people. They can absolutely become your marketers, your audience. I have so many people that have never bought a thing from me, and they still have followed me for years. But what they do for me is they help me get the word out. They help me be recognized. They help me be credible from these personal recommendations. And personal recommendations are so much more effective than a Facebook ad, honestly. I have not been using Facebook ads, and I've survived for 4 years in my businesses, and that's because of intimacy. I really do feel intimacy is the new black. That's what people are looking for when they hire someone one-on-one, or they hire someone that's solving a personal problem and not just an app. They're hiring you as a human, so you need to show up for them there. So Sunny, you mentioned that it's so important bringing the integrity into our work, which helps your motivation. Of course, because if you're doing the marketing pieces or doing any promotional pieces for your work that feels inauthentic, it feels like it's not the way you would usually say it, it's not your style of helping, you're not going to do it. You're just simply not going to do it. And when you don't do that, you're not showing this whole authentic piece of yourself. They're not able to recognize what you do best. And when you hold yourself back with fear, Rich talks about this in the Prosperous Coach. It's like when you refrain yourself from giving value, when you refrain yourself from being afraid to give all you know in one call, for example, and not trust that person will use that value to hire you, you are absolutely cutting that relationship short because you're only giving people 50% each time you interact with them. So they're going to feel it's only about half of it is really worth it. They're going to feel exactly what you're putting out there. So I do encourage you to give all you can give, because at the end of the day, people can't do the entire thing on themselves. So how many webinars and trainings and live streams you guys have gone on? I mean, some people still need more help. They need accountability. They need my mentorship. They might need, additional strategic personalized plans for them. All that can be done with the paid program. But you give your advice, you give your wisdom over to that, okay? And it's so true when that happens. So my question to you today is, what activities are you spending time doing right now for your business, right? Think back about every single week when you do work for your business. So whether you're in a full-time job or you're doing this side hustle as a full-time hustle now, what are you currently doing every single week most often, right? Be honest about it. What are you doing? Are you writing blogs? Are you participating in Facebook groups? Are you just hanging out? Are you just working on your copy for your website till the cows come home? What is happening in your business right now? I would love to hear that so I can pick apart what your activities that matter and what are things you should be parking. Okay, I love the idea of parking lots. I always have ideas about stuff. I'm like, oh my God, I want to do a summit. Oh my God, I want to do all these different things. But is it the right for right now piece that's going to get me the goal that I want to get, which is having more clients, having more credibility in the marketplace, right? Which is most likely also your goals, right? So the other part I wanted you to then think about after you've kind of taken inventory of your activities that you're currently spending on doing, not thinking about, doing about. So if you're realizing you're not doing anything, you're just all in up here, that itself is the problem. The doingness, as I mentioned, is the building of the expertise, okay? Know that is part of the process. You can't escape it. You got to show up for your work, okay? So after you took inventory of your activities, I want you to think about looking at all those activities. Can you truly say that these activities are really leading you to the outcomes that you desire? Okay, and be very simple about your outcomes. It's about getting my first client. It's about testimonials. It's about more people booking discovery calls. Whatever is your goal, that is really the specific one, get very specific about it. Are all your activities leading you there? Okay, okay, great. So Tara, you said you're joining Facebook groups and online courses. Okay, great. So this is all learning, right? You're being a part of that world. So I want to challenge you to go, what are you doing in those Facebook groups? Are you engaging with people? Are you showing people who you are? Are you helping people with some of these subjects and topics that you believe could be your next business, right? Or are you just hanging out and looking at what people are talking about and kind of keeping quiet, okay? And same thing with your online courses, Tara. Are you applying them? Are you taking each piece module to module and actually after every module that you complete it, before you move on to the next one, are you learning to go, what does that mean to me? How does that change the way I behave or change the way that I'm offering stuff in my business? How does that truly matter in the reality of my business creation? Okay. Sunny, you're stripping back and you want to start timetable from scratch and restructuring time for maximum productivity. Awesome place to start, because that's when you're really going to start to know what are time wasting activities, how much time is required for certain things, and time blocking, right? Awesome. One of the greatest ways of productivity, time blocking and keeping focus on one task at a time and making a sense of completion around those tasks to really feel like you're moving forward rather than doing 50 things at once and having only 20% productivity rates for each of them for completion. Okay, so the next piece for you, Sunny, is not only are you going to look at your timetable and what blocks of time you have available for your business after taking care of your daughter and all the priority other items in your business, what are you going to fill those times doing? So again, bringing back to the outcomes, what do you want, right? Do you want to get more clients? Do you want to start working with clients? Do you want to know what you do best in your business? If that's the case, work backwards, right? Reverse engineer. So if I'm looking to create offers for my business, what's the questions I have in mind about that? Do I know what I offer? Where do my skills structure into a package, right? If those are the questions for you, then you can start to identify what types of activities will allow you to find those answers. And for you, Sunny, because I've talked to you before, I know part of yours is about testing, right, your services and having a sort of loose structure around how you're going to perform those services. But truly, the answers lie in the evidence around a real human interaction. So I believe your first goals are about bringing in as many people under a loose kind of framework of what you're going to be doing for your services, bringing them through that process so that you can feel confident that that process works, and then going into packaging and offer creation and marketing languages after that. Okay? All right, Marilyn, you're spending too much time working with clients or doing the work for clients. By the time I want to build relationships, I'm so tired already. Yeah, I totally get that. So that's something to think about where it's about where are blocks of time in your weekly schedule. Can you dedicate, even if it's just an hour a week, to truly an hour focused time of building relationships? And your building relationships doesn't have to be digital. So if you find that, because I know that, Marilyn, you are a graphic designer, so I know you spend lots of your days on the computer, perhaps the way you want to relate and build relationships might be external, outside of the digital world. And that's awesome. So once a week, how can you go to a meetup? How can you be in live events, perhaps even, where you can be talking to people that fit in the audience of your potential customers, whether they're like women leaders or women entrepreneurs, mothers, whoever they are. Where can you go to ensure that you're doing this on a week-to-week basis and creating that relationship, asking questions, talking about their struggles to give you clues again of how can you serve them powerfully in the future. Okay, and so that's if that's something you're craving, Marilyn, you got to make time for it. Just like you make time to exercise, just like you make time for your daughter, all those things matter, right? Or your son, sorry, I got confused with Sonny. And so if you can block off time for your kids or for your health or for eating or whatever you do, you can block off time for intimacy and relationship building. If that is so something that you do crave in your business and you believe it will make the difference in getting you closer to the types of clients that you want. On a digital level, hey, guess what? We're connecting through digital. I'm in Bali. You're God knows where. We're connecting. We're building a relationship right now, right? And so if you don't have time to go out there and network and do all those events, how can you create intimacy in the groups that you're joining right now? You know, The Unconventionalist is a great platform. It's a safe place for you to play with these sorts of ideas. Every week, I come up with themes, right? Talk It Out Tuesday, Watch Me Wednesdays. All those are meant for you guys to show up and start getting into the habit of practicing giving value, practicing giving help, so you can kind of find your style around topics, approaches, and how you help using this platform as a way of testing, you know, because we're all doing that here. And then if you feel like the next week you can graduate to another unknown group or a much more entrepreneur group, let's say, you can start to really understand how you want to post your stuff, right? And so think about using the tools that are already on Facebook. For example, Facebook live streams are great to, if you're a better talker like I am, I get to points much quicker talking it out rather than writing it out. Maybe instead of blogging, you can spend a whole week literally filming videos on YouTube, starting a simple YouTube channel like Amanda did with her cruise ship placements, and that could be a really great way of connection to you. Or simply jumping on other people's Facebook groups and doing a live stream, which you're allowed to do at a group. You can live stream yourself in someone else's group, giving value, right? Solving a problem, picking a topic that you think your audience has a problem with, and spending 15 minutes giving them a tip, right? Giving them some cool shortcuts that you know as an expert. And in time, personally, you're going to build your voice. You're going to start to recognize your voice, your tone, your influence, your way of influence, and how you really talk things through when it comes to advising people. And then in the outside world, you're going to appear like an expert. People are going to know that you keep talking about these topics. You know, you keep coming up with these topics. So in time, when they reach a point where they need help with that topic, who are they going to remember? They're going to remember you. Right? Just like every time someone hears the word cubicle, or they might hear the word purposeful work or meaningful work, they might think of me, because those are the types of topics that I always talk about. Okay? All right. So I want you to think about that. So when I end the live stream, have a list of things to think about of what activities you're currently spending on, and start to create boundaries around your activities. Think about, isolate those activities to go, which activities do I really want to keep going on, you know, that will lead me to the outcomes. Pick 2 activities, 1 or 2 activities a week that you're going to focus on and master in order to create momentum for results to really happen for your business. And share what those 1 to 2 activity tasks are, and how are you going to perform those tasks? How are you going to deliver value in those tasks in all the different ideas you may have, okay? You guys have all different ways of delivery. All your talents are different. If you're a talker, maybe it's video, maybe it's live streams, maybe it's a Periscope. If you are a blogger, it's about writing, right? So it's about giving out maybe 2 blogs a week, or publishing yourself in medium.com, or trying to create some awareness around your blogs by pitching them on different Facebook groups. So those are the activities that you want to focus on and master for 30 days, you know, to really see the results that you're truly going to have. Okay, and then I'll come back onto the discussion page here and help you out with giving you some ideas as well. Okay, so before I go, I'm going to answer Amanda's question. Should I place a book a discovery call button on my site? Absolutely. Have that very visible, either on the top bar. I usually like to highlight a button, or you can put it, if that's the piece that is going to make the difference of conversion, put it somewhere above the fold. Okay, put it somewhere that when someone goes straight on your site, that's the piece that they see, which is the biggest call to action that you can have. And make sure that your discovery call is also, or the link to book is also appearing in any opt-ins that you have. So whether it's in the actual PDF of your opt-in, whether it's a checklist or a course or whatever you do for an opt-in, make sure that call to action is so repeated constantly. People need repeats and habits and to be reminded constantly to do something. So it's okay to put a button in all your PDFs and also in your email sequence, if you have one for your opt-in, is make sure that on a PS or a footer or somewhere planted, hidden in a link on the body, that this is always the call to action. Here's all the advice I gave you. How do we make it mean it for you? Jump on a call. It's a free call. I'm going to make this much better for you. So that's your call to action going forward, because we don't want to automate intimacy, right? Intimacy cannot be automated, but you can automate the call to action to create the booking for them so that you can do your magic, do your thing you do best of creating those powerful conversations with your client. Okay? I've got to go now, but it was lovely to spend some time with you, and I'm sure we'll have more to talk about as I go through the thread. So make sure to give me your questions. My only last summary conclusion is stop focusing on the shiny objects of the pretty things in your business and start focusing on the work that matters, which is very most likely doing the work that you're supposed to do. Okay, which is, so if you don't get a paid client, go get some free clients. Go test out your talent on other people. Use the feedback for testimonials and use the feedback to improve your process so that when you put out a paid program, it's going to feel confident, it's going to feel amazing. Okay, I'll see you guys next week for another live stream. And again, I always ask about topics you want me to talk about, so feel free to post that below, and I will see you later. Bye, guys.